This happened back in 2015. I had taken a road trip to a forest a few hours from home. There was a hike I was dying to do. One that led to an old, abandoned fire lookout tower. It was technically illegal to go inside or camp there, but I'd read online that others had done it before me. The catch: the last post about it was 3 years old, so I really didn't know what I'd find. I parked in a small ditch off the road, grabbed my backpack with 2 days of gear, and started the hike. There was no path, just dense forest. I had a GPS, but mostly I was cutting through uncharted terrain. After almost 5 hours, I saw the tower, worn down, but still standing. I checked the supports, solid. I climbed up the creaky metal ladder and stepped inside. One small, rotting room. Just a bed frame, an old desk, and windows with a panoramic view of the endless forest. As night fell, I sat on the outer ledge, watching the sunset. No lights, no houses, no sign of life for miles. Just peaceful silence, until I saw a flickering orange glow down below. It wasn't a flashlight, it looked like a torch. Someone was walking through the woods with it. No trails, no roads, no reason to be there. 30 minutes later, the light vanished behind the trees. I assumed they left, until I stood up and looked down. Someone was standing there, staring up at me. I called out, "Hello?" No response. Just 10 long seconds of silence. Then they raised their hand. A wave, a signal, an apology? I don't know. Then, without a word, they turned and walked into the woods, with no light. I eventually went inside to sleep, but it was hard. The wind creaked the tower, and every noise felt like a threat. Hours later, I woke up to the sound of metal, the ladder. Step by step, someone was climbing it. I grabbed my backpack and crept onto the ledge. The sound got louder, then suddenly stopped. I slowly walked around the corner. No one. I leaned over to check. The ladder was empty. Then, running footsteps from behind me. A dark figure rushed across the windows. I didn't even think. I jumped to the ladder and climbed down in pure panic. At one point, I looked up and saw their head peeking over the edge. I ran through the woods, somehow made it to my car, and drove without looking back. I was camping solo at a small lake I'd been going to since I was a kid. It's way out in the woods, with just a thin footpath leading to it. It's not on any maps. Never once had I seen another soul out there. My first day was peaceful. Set up camp, relaxed by the water. But the second day, that's when I saw footprints. They weren't mine. I'd walked that loop several times already. These were new. And they weren't boot prints either. They were barefoot. They stopped at the tree line, like someone had been watching the lake, then disappeared into the woods. That night, I sat by the fire, paranoid. I kept glancing into the trees, waiting. Then, footsteps. I turned to the darkness, and out of the shadows came 2 people, a man and a woman. They stopped right at the edge of the firelight. I could barely see their faces, just silhouettes. "Can I help you?" I asked. The woman immediately turned and sprinted into the woods, but the man, he just stood there, not moving. Then quietly, he turned and walked away, barefoot. That was it for me. I packed everything up in a panic. The hike out was over 2 hours, but I wasn't alone. For the next hour, I kept hearing running footsteps around me. First on the left, then the right, always distant, like they were following, watching. I never saw them again, but I swear they stayed with me until I got back to my truck. I never went back. I was 24, living out of a van, while road tripping along the West Coast. I preferred solitude. the quiet of the forest over the chaos of cities. One week, I was somewhere in Washington. I found a dirt trail deep in the woods and followed it to a peaceful pull-off spot. It had a fire ring, no other vehicles, and was surrounded by tall pines. As the sun set, the rain started. I cooked a meal inside, cracked a window for air, and watched Netflix on my laptop. But halfway through the show, a glare hit my screen. I turned around. The light was gone. Just darkness through the trees. I tried to shake it off. Maybe headlights. But there was no road behind me. Hours later, thunder started rolling in. And just as I was dozing off, I heard it. Crunch, snap, footsteps. I peeked out, saw nothing. But the feeling that someone was watching me was overwhelming. Then, a voice, a male voice, whispering, like he was talking to someone else. Then came a knock, on the side of the van. Another knock, then another. After a minute, the voice said, "Sheriff's Department. Open up." No lights, no vehicle, no badge, just a dark figure at my door. I didn't believe it. I waited, silent, terrified. They kept knocking, getting more aggressive. I peeked through the curtain, saw one figure at the door, no uniform. I jumped into the front seat and turned the ignition. As I did, 2 sets of footsteps ran toward the van. One figure slammed into the window as I drove away. I didn't stop until I hit the highway. There were no other cars on that trail. The sheriff's department later confirmed. Nobody was dispatched that night. I don't know who they were, but I'm not sure I want to. Whether it's an abandoned tower, a hidden lake, or the supposed safety of a camper van, the woods don't care. Out there, you're on your own. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more true horror stories. And remember, if you ever feel like someone's watching you in the forest, they probably are. Stay safe, stay aware, and never camp alone.